How do you guys out there watch TV these days? Do you still watch it on a television set? Do you watch it through the internet? Do you watch it through a Slingbox? Do you watch TV at all? More to my point, how do you guys watch video? Because that's pretty much what television is. I mean, a television show is video by its nature. I mean, do you watch it all online, or do you only watch whatever comes streaming in through the idiot box? Well, that's not my term for it. It's what I think. I'm pretty sure I'm not the first person to call it an idiot box. Tell me I'm not, because I know I've heard other people say that before, whether they were referring to television or maybe me, because I have a few boxes and I happen to be, yes, an idiot. I do have a question here. This is really why I'm bringing up these questions to you, is what is the social and political impact of services such as Apple TV, iTunes, Adobe Media Player? And this is specifically in relation to video delivery services. That's what your cable service provider is. It's a service provider. It's what your satellite service provider is. It's a service provider. And they are pushing data down. Now, whether that data coming down the pipe is, and not to be confused with coming down the pike, which is a different saying. I'm talking specifically about, the tubes, the internet. Well, they're kind of all mishmashed together. The connection point that comes into your house through some kind of cable, the pipe. It doesn't matter whether it's just video, whether it's data services or anything. It's that connection that comes in. Well, up until really recently, we didn't have much of a choice. In fact, when I was visiting friends and family in Des Moines, Iowa, they were all lamenting the fact that the only cable company in town was just, they felt, robbing them blind, not giving them any kind of really valuable service in terms of the money that they were giving this particular company. And there's really no choice for a lot of the programming if you want certain types of programming over others. Well, then again, services that come through devices like Apple TV, or potentially through Adobe Media Player on the desktop, or iTunes, or any software like that takes the same kind of content and just repackages it, or even if it's the website that allows you to view or possibly even download a show that was available through a traditional television service provider. These ideas are changing not just the way we access content, but it's changing the way that those content services have to exist today and into the future. Why would a cable service provider want to give you better download speeds if they knew that you also had an Apple TV, which competes directly with some of the services that they provide? Now, I happen to live in an area where Comcast is the cable service provider. I've got no other choice. In fact, as far as broadband is concerned, I really have no other choice. They are offering speeds that I can't find anywhere else, certainly for the price that I have been paying, which I would argue is too much. No matter, I could use that service and put another device on the network that gives me access to a variety of other content, and that's kind of what the internet is. I mean, I can open up a web browser and download all the latest episodes of what I want to download legally through official services and official websites. I can watch them all online instead of using Comcast. Do I? Sometimes. But here's where it gets interesting. Comcast has a service that Ponzi loves, On Demand, and there are times that we want to watch a movie together. We don't want to go down to the store. Our Netflix subscription isn't giving us, or we don't have the movies that we want to watch at the time we want to watch them, but they happen to be on demand. So we pay maybe X amount of dollars for renting the high-definition movie. Well, with a service like Apple TV, we could potentially download that same movie in high definition with probably the same type of quality, same level of quality, and for cheaper, using that same connection. And then we've also got an Xbox 360, so we could use the video content services there. And if they happen to be providing us access to the same movie in the same quality, Well, which one are we going to use to watch that one piece of media? Which one is it? Well, politically, most people are thinking, oh, well, I've got Comcast, I'm paying for it anyway, I might as well use that. Well, you are, but you could get the same stuff on the internet. And you could get it on your schedule. Well, yeah, but that's what a DVR is for. Have you ever tried to use a DVR that was designed by someone other than the person who was controlling the entire hardware, software, and service experience? It is roughly the equivalent of taking a pair of scissors and doing this. Ah! Only a little more painful. And I think you know what I'm talking about. So now we have a choice. So long as we have a way to get to that information, then does it matter how we get to it? It's a whole debate about the value of that connection point. But I'd hope that at some point in time, I would have the opportunity to go between 3 devices. I kind of can now. It's a little difficult. It's a little unfriendly at this point. I could do it. But imagine being able to have competing services in the home. I mean, the internet is an extreme example. I've got access to the entire internet. So why does it matter I have to go through this provider or that provider, or this website or that website? It shouldn't matter, really. I should just be able to get to it, right? I mean, doesn't that make the most amount of sense? That puts me in control. And those big companies, they don't want us in control. I got news for them. Sorry, we are. Period. End of story. Deal with it or get out of our way. We're trying to help. We're trying to tell you how to do this. We want to give you our money. Politically, you ain't making it easy. We want to use your service. Socially, it's responsible to pay for a service that you are receiving, especially if that's the license you're agreeing to. If that is something, yes, I agree that the value of this is worth X, or I have to pay X to get Y. Well, when it comes to video and content and these video services, it doesn't really matter who you go through, does it? Does it really matter? I mean, is the high-definition movie that's on your Apple TV different from the high-definition movie that's coming through Comcast? That's different from the high-definition movie that's coming in through the Xbox? That's coming from the internet? I mean, where do you go? There are choices, and those choices are going to become more plentiful. And you know what that means? That means the price goes down. Doesn't go up, because if it's going up, oh, they're going away. These political structures are going to be forced to change. We're going to make the decisions for them. If Comcast is overcharging, we'll let them know. We just won't buy. That's the way you deal with it. You just don't buy. It's the way I've dealt with it. That doesn't mean I've ripped anybody off. I believe playing fair is the only way to go. Just because morally, socially, that's the responsible thing to do. Politically, the responsible thing to do is let the consumer be in control. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. Now, if anybody else has got a different opinion or wants to add their 2 cents to this whole situation, feel free to email me, chris@Pirillo.com. Doesn't matter what email program you use. I don't care. I have one email address, no matter how you want to send mail to it. Just making a point. You're also welcome to stop by our chat room through any web browser of your choice, because we're streaming this video live out over the internet pretty much all the time. Typically talking tech. Every once in a while we dive into these deeper topics. I mean, this is a pretty deep topic, right? We all, watch video, and sometimes you're watching me through whatever mechanism you want, whatever desktop you want. Whatever. I just love having you as a part of my community. And if you haven't stopped by to say hello, feel free to do so anytime. We're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at live.Pirillo.com. We'll see you later.